My name is Jordan Wiegand, and this is Enter Flash Time, where we slow time down, examine, and take an in-depth look at each episode of the Arrowverse series, The Flash, and any episode he may appear in the larger universe. Today's episode is Fastest Man Alive, the second episode of the first season of The Flash, and overall. This is also Barry Allen's fourth appearance in the Arrowverse, and my guest today here from Supes and Sabers, my co-host, Chris. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing well. It's crazy time with all that's going on, but I got my birthday weekend. This is kicking it off. Let's go.
Yeah, happy early birthday here.
Thanks, man. Yeah. We got the flash hat
This is
on.
your present.
I got my flash hat on. I got my Funko Pop from the show here
There you go.
to root me on. So talking about the Flash.
I have this one. If you see it on my back behind here, I have this one at my desk at work.
Nice. Yeah.
I found it at a local comic shop right near my work, and I was like, I'm going to put this on my desk.
I actually think Flash works best for Funko Pops. Like some characters don't really work for Funko Pop.
Yeah.
But Flash is like perfect for it because the cowl and like the big head kind of works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
especially like the side with the ears, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think with the lightning bolts on the side too, I think that looks great. It's very good silhouette. So this is the first repeat guest here today. You last though were on when we talked Arrow.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 9. So this is your first Flash episode.
This is the first Flash proper. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to get you on before. I know you have an episode reserved later in the season, and I wanted to get you on here before that as well, because I felt like that is a big episode, and I thought let's kind of ease you in here with an episode that is not as well known. Maybe like this is not one that I think of when I think of the Flash season 1.
Yeah, this isn't one of your favorite episodes of the series. It's just a run of the mill. Hey, it's the second episode. They're figuring out some things. I actually really like it because I really like Mob Rule as a villain. Like, I think it's a really kind of like cool like story in this episode. But I there's some weird things about this episode. They haven't quite figured out their footing with Iris, for example. This two-time Pulitzer Prize winner apparently said, "Oh, I'll just make it up." I can't get over that.
She's very anti-journalism school, isn't she? Or is it the pilot? One of them.
No, it's this one, and it's just like what? Like you're just like,
you know what it is though.
Yeah,
it is. I'll say this quickly, and then we can get to the episode details because I feel like I don't want to pause this part here, but it's that like almost prequel symptom type thing, right? Where it's like we can't, Smallville does this with Lois Lane. We can't have her be what she is yet. They have to become that in the course of the show. So it's that type of thing that Smallville did all the time. This show does it for Iris. But yeah, so this is episode 2 of season 1, Fastest Man Alive, directed by David Nutter, and it has a story by Greg Berlanti, Andrew Kreisberg, with teleplay by Andrew Kreisberg and Geoff Johns. They also did the script and stuff last episode as well, Kreisberg and Johns. And it premiered October 14th of 2014 on the CW. Our podcast premiered on October 7th, and we had to do the first 2 Arrow episodes, and then we are now we're recording this on November 7th.
Happy 1-month anniversary to Enter Flash Time. There you
go. Yeah. But we do every other week for releases, so this will come out not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
Hey,
what is it? Is that Thanksgiving
episode? Yeah, I think
you are.
Thanksgiving.
Is that Thanksgiving week? No,
18th.
18th.
Yeah.
We're on the
27th. Thanksgiving is my mom's birthday, and then my uncle's birthday is the day after. So it's like that week is nuts. But yeah, yeah, November.
So this episode kicks off here with a fire in a building, and Barry and Cisco are now having him help solve crimes or stop crimes, petty crimes, little disasters like the fire, not like big stuff. While he is out there without Wells or Caitlin knowing, and Caitlin's going to come in and kind of be like, what are you guys doing? But Barry at this point is able to go 352 miles per hour. Is there a number that stands out to you in that, Chris?
Well, 52. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the episode, we'll confirm this, but this is a 52. Yeah, this is on the tracker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he overshoots the building because he is just going fast. Do you think is 352 miles an hour fast?
For the Flash, it's pretty slow. I feel like for the Flash, it's like,
I know they're trying to do this thing where they're like building him up, but like, would he be as fast as they're showing in the scenes where he's just a blur?
Like, so I wonder how fast you have to go to be a blur to people.
Yes, that's my question.
I think that's a good question, Jordan. He was definitely a blur later on because he saved somebody and he's like, the bullet went off and then I was here. So
that's much faster than 300. How fast is a speeding bullet?
Well, I mean,
should I search that real quick? Hold on. How fast is a speeding bullet?
I should text my buddy Todd. He's a student teacher like me, but he's for science. I'm English, so want to know that answer.
I guess they don't really do it in miles per hour, so that's my. So sometimes speeding bullets can be 2,000 miles per hour.
What?
A handgun is typically 700 to 2,000 miles per hour. So, and look, this is one thing I'll say about this episode that I noticed on this watch through compared to my first watch through. And probably so I ended up watching this twice for this. So this is actually my third watch through. His speed is very inconsistent. And what I mean by that is 352 miles an hour, but then is able to save a guy before a speeding bullet. And later on, he does something that I don't think knew he could do, but he does it. And we'll get to it. And that's where he slows time to a standstill to talk to Iris and tell her his thoughts, but then he immediately speeds it back up and no time has lapsed, which is not consistent with 352 miles an hour. So I think it's a little all over the place.
I hated that scene. I had the same problem watching this episode. And mind you, I've watched this episode a lot because I watched the show on
you
Netflix
started season 1 and you just
and then I've watched the show to at least season 4 a couple times. And then I watched the show with my mom and caught her up she caught up, I think, at season 6, when it was going on. So, I've watched this episode at least 3, maybe 4 times, maybe 5. I think this is the most I've ever thought. None of this makes sense. I think I've watched it too much to be a casual audience member.
Yeah, I think, not to really skip ahead too much, but I do think because the reason I'm talking about it now is because we give a hard miles per hour at the beginning of this episode.
Yep.
And it's like he is going that fast, and he mentions that is, I think, at that point the fastest he has gone. It seems almost like he does enter flash time when he's talking to Iris, which is that slows time down to incredible speeds.
If that was season 4 or 5, I would not hate that scene. But the fact of the matter is, he doesn't have that control over his powers. That's a really gutsy thing to do if you don't have control of your powers.
Yeah, that's my whole thing is like he doesn't have full control yet. So another thing that happens in this, right, he has an issue after saving everyone. And we've learned later on it is because he's not consuming enough calories, right? So he's losing his energy, so he's not able to use his powers.
I wish I was the Flash. I could eat whatever I want, whenever I want it. It'd be great.
And have that metabolism. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Do you think you can be a fat speedster? Is there one that exists?
You couldn't be a fat speedster.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. The thing I've always wondered about speedsters is, does endurance come with super speed?
Right, or are they like exhausted, you mean?
Right, yeah, like, because I am out of shape. But like, if I was in shape, and I at speed, would I like naturally? Could I just go forever? Like, is it kind of like Aquaman can breathe underwater?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, lightning gave him abs, so maybe lightning gave him endurance too.
Yeah, I do think it's like a thing of as long as he's replenishing, he has calories to burn, so he is like has endurance. I guess.
I guess
kind of the thought process behind that.
Lung capacity and caloric intake aren't the same thing.
My whole question, okay, so this is kind of what I always wondered. Because this I feel like is inconsistent as well. And it has to do with the speed.
Okay.
If he can enter flash time, is when he runs fast and gets places in a minute, is he actually experiencing that as hours and it's just minutes for us? Like, is it because he can go so fast, but it slows down for him? Is that how it always is, or can he just go at normal fast speed as well?
While we're on this tangent, because I don't know the answer, while we're on this tangent, I have always wondered, does he talk super fast when he's running? Like when he's running in the like one of the voice be like exactly, and like
I can excuse that. I can excuse that a little bit more of like it's S.T.A.R Labs tech where like they're, since he has it on him, it's in his speed, but they're also hearing it in real time. I guess I don't know, that's kind of you have to suspend disbelief there, I guess. But I just
with this, yeah.
When you have speedsters,
in like a second.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's not a second for him because he has to absorb it, right? So he's actually reading the full book. Right. That's the kind of thing I question where it's like when you have speedsters, you kind of run into this issue because people will use it as he's super fast, but then they also do it as because he is fast, he can do these things fast. And it's like, but he has to actually read it. So he has to slow time down to read it. And that makes him, maybe we'll get a more concrete answer as we go throughout. It's been a bit, so I don't know.
They define it. I feel like they define his powers more as the show goes on. But I feel like there's a window in season 1 where it's whatever we need it to be, it is.
Yes. No, I agree. I think it is one of those things where it's like, just look at what he can do, right? Like, this is what he can do. And I think you can almost think of it as two separate powers. He is super fast, but he can also slow stuff down. And that is how I kind of explain it away in my head, is that entering flash time and slowing stuff down is different than when he is just fast.
I always wonder how the Flash, I always wonder how the Flash thinks. Because when I go to bed, my mind starts racing. Like his mind slowing it down and deep breathing has to be so important.
Right. He probably needs to sleep a lot too. If he's eating a lot and running a lot, he probably still needs to sleep more hours than he does. But yeah, so he saves everybody. He's having problems where he like can't run. He goes back to S.T.A.R Labs. Caitlin is, kind of reaming him out a bit here and says, so much so that Cisco is like, hey, actually, no, that's later. But Harrison Wells comes in and says that he, thinks that having some restraint would be good for Barry. Cisco does say that his vitals spiked for a few minutes. So just something that, asking him how he feels. And he's like, no, I feel fine. We know he's not feeling fine at this. He's just kind of lying about it here. But Joe calls and he's at a crime scene. And guess what? This is a +1 for Barry late because Barry's late to his job. He has to go there. Doesn't have his clothes, by the way, so he has to. Is the implication here he shoplifts this, or is he paying for it and left money for this to close?
I'd like to believe he puts the money down on the counter and like
that's what kind of
like Superman would do, but like I feel like we've seen something like that in something like I feel like that's what he does. But
he does it for coffee one time at Jitters in a couple. Right. I think it's in a few episodes he does that. Yeah.
Yeah, so. And I think Clark did that in Smallville once as well.
Yeah, probably.
I could be wrong. That's a question for Zach Moore there. But I like the two moments that were funny. When do you think he's going to realize he doesn't have his clothes?
Yes.
And then the other one was Captain Singo doing some shopping, Barry.
Yeah. It's like I understand. I think Singh is then thinking he was late because he was shopping, but also the like you could just show up with a tag still on. Like not everybody pays attention.
The problem is the store was like right next to the thing, so maybe he clocked that. But like, yeah, like it was the whole thing was ridiculous. He's got to get better at lying. What I love about Barry is he's bad at lying because that means he's a pretty honest person.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry is, we get a flashback to Barry running away from Joe as a kid, right? He is running away. We find out later he's running away to go see his father at prison, but that's kind of a flashback we have here. We get back to the present where Barry is at work in his lab, and he like uses his speed to do the job, shaking the vial and making it, the reaction happen. Right before Iris comes in, though, we get him having the issue again, where he's like, almost like fainting. I don't know what to call it. Like now that we know what it is, it's just like he's just exhausted, I guess.
He's
but it's like he can't.
Out.
Yeah, he's crashing, coming off the sugar rush. And Iris comes in. They're talking a bit. Then Eddie comes in, and Eddie and Iris are still doing like the whole
pretend not to be in love thing. And...
Yeah, but like Barry knows, and he has to remind them that he knows, and they're like, "Oh, great!" Like Eddie kisses her and stuff. But
and then,
yeah,
and then Eddie's like, "I know it's hard to keep a secret," and he's like, "I'm used to it."
Yeah.
Like, there's a double meaning there.
Oh, so this is something I talked with Zach about. You heard the episode, but like, what was your thought when you heard Eddie Thawne the first time? Did you know about Eobard Thawne at that point? Like, what was your knowledge?
I got to be honest with you. I got into the Flash comics because of the show. So I had kind of like, wait a second, I've heard that name Thawne before. Like, because I've watched a lot of the animated stuff, but it didn't like quite click with me the first time I watched the show. I will be 100% honest on that.
No, that's good. But like, I guess when that, this is a rewatch podcast, so we could talk about it. But like,
yeah, it's the way they do it was really good. And I thought your conversation about, they probably just want to name him Eobard was probably, and I'm like, that's probably what they were saying at the time. Like, I remember I caught up during season three, I think, or maybe it was season 4, to live. Yeah, I got into the Flash comics because of the show, not the other way around.
Yeah, but that is, I definitely known Eobard Thawne's name. I knew he was Reverse Flash, but my thought was, because I had started so late, I had known some things. Like I had known that Wells was Reverse Flash, so I'm not sure I really knew who Eddie was. So when I started watching this, I just kind of thought like, oh, see, like, I guess I kind of thought he was a descendant.
Yeah.
And didn't really think, but like if I was back then, I probably would have thought this is like I said on the show, like this is a CW thing. They changed his name to Eddie because Eobard's not sexy enough or something.
I thought it was impressive, not to skip to the end of the episode.
No, you're good.
But I thought it was impressive that when Eobard or Harrison Wells kills Stag,
Yeah.
I thought it was impressive that he didn't just. They showed restraint because normally he would just do the hand thing.
He had a knife or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he used a knife. So it was like the show going, "Oh, we can't do that yet."
Yeah, we'll hold that on. But I also think it's good for Wells not to do that yet, too, because if somebody's investigating it, that would look suspicious.
Really? Yeah, and who believes in the impossible? Barry Allen.
But it would also maybe think, I don't know, would people think Barry did it then because of the super speed?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
And we know this is something, you know what? No, I'll save that for later. I'll save it for when we get to that part. Okay, but yeah, so we get Simon Stagg, Man of the Year. Barry and Iris are going to this. This is all before the title card still. This was a long intro. I think it was like 10 or 11-minute intro. Barry and Iris go together, and this is where we get the villain Multiplex, Captain Clone, whatever you want to call him in this. What Cisco names him there, but Multiplex is the comic name. While there, the villains show up, and it looks like multiple people, but it's the same actor. I kind of figured out. It's been a while since I've seen it, to the fact where I forgot what this was, that I was like, oh no, this is the same guy. I already know this. Just from his eyes, like with the mask with the eyes, I'm like, yeah, that's the same guy. Like he's got very distinct eyes, the actor. And Barry saves the security guard, but his powers run out before he can catch the villain. And we get the title card.
Yeah. I thought it was cool because Joe was like, all right, we need to talk for a second. He's like, you read after him, didn't you? And he's like, you got to get better at saying better excuses than you painted. But it was actually honest that time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, because after the title card, Joe and the police are there, and Barry is found outside by Iris, and he's like, I was just trying to get the plates. This is a good lie, actually. We talked about Barry's a bad liar. I think this is a good lie from him, being like, hey, I was just trying to get the plates.
Well, he has police knowledge, so he knew what he would be looking for. Like, that's just like common sense there.
And it's something that like Barry would conceivably do because he is not like the guy that usually goes head first, where it's like the most I can do. Like if I was seeing something happen, the most I would be able to do myself is, can I get the guy's plates? Because
I've been in this
going headlong.
I've been in this situation. So we've had shoplifters, like when I worked at Giant, we have shoplifters, and you just kind of have to let them do it because
they tell you, they tell you not to interfere.
First off, I'm not dying over $200 of groceries. I don't care. But I will see if I can get the license plate as they're getting out of there. And you know, we've all been in that situation, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I worked at a grocery store too, and they've told us never approach them yourself. Like tell somebody or, get some sort of identifying information that you can pass along. And that's kind of what Barry's, lie here.
It's kind of funny because at the store they have signs in like the back room that say shoplifters hate company, keep them crowded. And so it's like a little mixed messaging, but
oh, you mean like stay with them is what they're trying to say?
Yeah, they're like the sign like we had in the back rooms and shoplifters hate company, keep them crowded.
Well, I think that's fine if you're like just being like, hey, is there anything I can help you with, and not like stay there, I'm gonna get you.
I always thought it was mixed messaging.
Back at S.T.A.R Labs, this is where Barry's getting reamed out by Caitlin, and because he was lying about the side effects, and she's like, we're your doctors, you shouldn't be lying to us, which is true. Don't lie to your doctors. Cisco then says he hasn't seen her this upset at somebody since Ronnie, which is her former fiance. Spoiler alert, we'll see him. That will be a +1 when we get to Rebirth because he comes back, but not yet. They run tests on a treadmill, and we get a nice little cosmic treadmill reference here. This is good.
I like this boxes stacked up like just in case. Like that was That was hilarious. I'm like, man, I'm looking at those boxes. I was like, how many Star Lab sweatshirts do they have?
Yeah, I know. I really want one of those.
Like, you should almost have a tally for a random Star Lab sweatshirt.
Yeah, Star Labs merch or something.
Yeah.
But while he's doing this testing, they realize pretty quickly his glucose levels are crashing. So then he crashes.
Yeah.
Back at the police station, Joe is checking on Barry in his lab. He's not there. This is where he finds the murder board. And we get a flashback to Joe coming home and asking where Barry is. Iris says he's showering, which Joe immediately calls out as a lie because he says at 3:10 in the afternoon, which I guess fair, but also like, who's to judge?
I mean,
I've taken showers at weird times.
I literally take showers sometimes just to wake my mind up. Like, you ever, like, you're tired, you can't really take a nap. It's a really good
I mean, I'll sometimes do it just to like when I have like a migraine, I'll try to see if that helps my head, or like if I have like
sometimes I'll do it if I have back pain. Yeah. You get the hot water on that. Yeah. I mean,
like when I hurt
thing.
When I hurt my back the other a couple weeks ago, I would just sometimes like take a shower to try to feel something, like get the hot water on it and feel better for a bit.
Damn, that's bad. He's like, I just need to feel something. What are you, Wolverine?
Just something, even pain.
I couldn't feel a thing, man.
So then while there's this parallel here, because while he's at the police station, he sees the Star Lab shirt in the lab, and he's like, I know where he is. He's at Star Labs. Which in the flashback, he's like, I know where he is. He's going to visit his dad, right? Like there's this nice little parallel in the backstories. At Star Labs, Cisco says that he needs to eat 850 tacos equivalent here, calorie wise. By the way, this is something that the Wikipedia or like Flash Wiki pointed out, is that later on, so this is like the equivalent of like 100 some calories, 100 some thousand calories is the tacos. But in a later episode, Barry says he needs to eat 10,000 calories a day. So this is actually wrong. But they just went with whatever number sounds high, I guess, is what they were thinking.
Season 1, they literally didn't care. They're like, if it needs to be this, it's this.
But to be honest, I feel like this sounds closer than 10,000 calories.
Yeah. 10,000 isn't that much.
It's not that much. With how much he runs?
You consider his activity level, which is like running miles per minute. And then you consider the fact that, like, when actors or something have to go on a diet where they bulk up, like David Cornsweet was probably doing what, 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
He said that, like, he was miserable. It was like he just kept having to eat, and he didn't want to eat. So I mean, 10,000 isn't that astronomical. I think 15 or 20,000 would probably be the number that would make the most sense for science fiction.
Yeah. Joe arrives, and we get this funny scene where, Caitlin is kind of agreeing with him and being like, yep, like I told you. And Joe's just kind of looking at her like, what? Like, kind of butt out. Kindly butt out of this, please. Is kind of what Joe's face is reading, I think.
Yeah.
But Joe is upset that Barry is moonlighting as the Flash. He says, you're just a kid, my kid. And we get, Barry being like, I'm not your kid and you're not my father. He's at Iron Heights. And
it's a great scene. It really is.
Yeah. You know what this would be? I feel like this is a hallway talk before they go into the hallway.
Oh, God. One of the things I have enjoyed about the early episodes here, no hallway talks.
We'll track them when they start, so I'll let you know when it happens. The first one.
I gotta be honest with you. The biggest problem with The Flash as a show is that there are no emotional stakes, because when someone gets upset, they all take turns going, I'll get it. It's like when you have a baby and it's like fighting over who gets to change the diaper. It's ridiculous.
You think so? I don't mind the hallway talks. It's just maybe my issue with it is that it gets a little
overdone.
Little formulaic.
It shouldn't be as essential to the Flash as flashbacks are to Arrow.
Right. And they're trying flashbacks here too. The first 2 episodes so far of this show have flashbacks. Yeah. I'm gonna wonder when the flashbacks stop, honestly. As consistent. Because it seems like that's what they're trying to do, is like, oh well, Arrow has flashbacks. We'll do flashbacks.
Yeah. I feel like season 2 and 3 didn't have many.
I don't think they did either. So that's what I'm like. Does this? My thought is this probably stops midway through the season.
They're probably. I feel like it does a lot of story exposition. Like I feel like it really like kind of paints the picture for you. But like I feel like once you know the characters, you don't need that.
Yeah, I guess I'll say this. I don't know if we needed these flashbacks of. I mean, we get it's a nice parallel story with the main story, so look, I understand that. But like, we had also just saw last episode that like Joe didn't want him to visit his father anyway, and his father didn't want him to visit him.
It's a repetitive cycle.
Yeah, it's a little repetitive back to back like this.
I also, the more you flash back to them as kids, the more the Iris is a sister thing gets in my head.
And yeah, so what's your thoughts on that? Because we touched on it last episode.
It's funny because you brought it up with Zach, and I was thinking, God, it works, but I don't envy Joe because Joe is in a very weird spot. Like, how do you explain that to people? Is the thing that
we get that funny. I think Zach mentioned it at the wedding.
Yeah.
That there's this great line of him being like, "I'm the father of both."
It's screwed up.
I feel like if you're Joe, this is the best case scenario, honestly.
Yeah,
because Iris is with a guy that's good. Barry is with a girl that's good,
and they're not technically brothers.
And exactly, it's like
it's weird.
There's a certain category.
Look,
that's very popular right now.
All I'm gonna wasn't even going there. You would think Ron would be the one to make that joke. but okay. No, look, one of the things I was thinking about when you were talking in your last episode was I always thought Patty was like the best one for him, but like there's so many women he had like great chemistry with. And then the funny thing about Barry is he's supposed to be nerdy and bad at this, but like he is incredibly smooth.
But I will say this was the era where nerds were cool.
Fair.
Nerds were sexy.
Yeah, fair. I also think he was like awkward with Iris, and that
because of
right,
because of their situation, also because
of his crush. He's not awkward with Felicity. He's not awkward with Patty at all. He's not. I mean, name a love interest that he wasn't even awkward with Linda Park.
Yeah, which Linda Park? Because there's 2.
Yeah, you know what? I clocked that when you guys were talking about that, and I was like, holy crap, that's right.
It's those fun quirks of the first season, where they're like, oh, we'll never need Linda Park because Wally's not in it. And they're like, well,
I feel like the first season they said, oh, we'll get away with this. Nobody will care.
Yeah.
Well,
but it is funny. It's set up like that. So Multiplex, what's his real name? Danton Black. He goes to meet up with S.T.A.R's security guard that we met at the event, and the security guard is named Java, something like that. Punches him.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
And then we see him able to split himself into the different bodies, and he gangs up on the security guard. And cut to Barry and Joe meeting again, and S.T.A.R's security guard is murdered. Joe kind of gives him the evidence. Iris walks in like, why is my dad mad at you? Work stuff. We get another +1 here of Barry late again because Barry did not meet up with Iris at Jitters.
Look, does that count as late if he never even showed up?
Yeah, that's the latest you can be.
That's the latest you can be. Okay, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Like to me, that's not tardy. That's absent.
She's so late. He's so late that she had to come to him.
Right. What I don't understand about this entire interaction is why he doesn't just give her the science detail then. Like, why did it have to be at Jitters at that time and point? Like, she's like, I'm going to have to come up with a whole new article. Like, why not just do it right then when you're talking to him?
Yeah, reasons, right? Because they have to set up the thing later.
They have to set up the Flash article.
The streak.
Like, right.
The red
like,
streak.
It's like, did she drop out of school to do her blog? Is that what happens?
I don't recall. I don't know. I think she stays in school, right?
Like I don't think they answered the question. I think she just because she publishes that on like a website.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even publish it in like her like.
But later she becomes like an actual reporter, so she has to have credentials. Like she has to be a journalism major.
She's a blogger she's a blogger that's always done a blog, the same blog. Somehow won 2 Pulitzers and had a huge office.
Look, back in 2014,
none of it makes sense.
Back in 2014, people still needed journalism degrees to work for a paper, I feel like.
Yeah, but she does her own blog. Like
but then she works at the paper, doesn't she?
She Central Picture News after she's already been successful blogging, and then she goes back to the Central City Citizen, which is her own thing.
But what I'm saying is, like, when she goes to the Picture News, they're not going to hire her just because of the blog. She has to have some sort of background.
They hired her because of the Flash.
She gets
there and she's like, "Oh, we're going to do hard-hitting journalism." And they're like, "Yeah, okay. What's new with the Flash?"
Yeah, but I feel like still, like, it wouldn't look great if she didn't finish her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see, like, we need her because she has the in with the Flash. She covers the Flash.
I guess.
Thankfully, she also has a degree.
Tom Welling and Lois Lane didn't really need a degree for Smallville.
That's true. Well, Lois Lane's reason was because she got hired by Grant Gabriel, I think, who ended up being Lex Luthor's cloned brother, Julie.
Jesus Christ. That show is something.
We'll see how far this one gets off the
rails. Barry, just wait till season 6.
Yeah. So this is where Barry does the slowing time down to talk to her about like what he wants to say, and then speeds back up, and they find out that the skin cells from the DNA evidence has stem cells, and Barry's like, that's weird, unless this kid's like this murder's like a baby, right? Like that's what stem cells are. And so Joe and Eddie are going to meet up with Stagg. Stagg, for some reason, Simon Stagg isn't worried. No, not worried. They're like, hey, you know, this killer could be, I think they even say like it could be Danton Black. It may not be, but they're like, hey, there's somebody that got fired, right? And he's like, nope, we're good. And right then, Danton Black comes in and starts shooting up the place.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 versions of himself. So then Barry's at the police station here. He hears about this, and he's like, oh, like, I know Joe and Eddie are there. He goes to his locker and grabs the flash suits. My question to you, Chris, is this the only time we see the lockers?
Yes, absolutely. There might have been another time. I think there was a time we saw the lockers during the Time Remnant stuff later on. But I could be wrong. I think because they're like...
You're right, I think.
Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, it's a rare locker pool.
It's the only time he's ever had the suit in the locker, right? Yeah. I don't think he's ever kept it in there.
My question to you is, do you think Simon Stagg didn't want the security because he thought the Flash would save him and he might be able to get his hands on the Flash?
No, I think that's a later like thought for him.
Okay, because at the end of the episode, the Flash needs to be protected. And, I'm wondering if that was a seed they were planting backwards, maybe. But
maybe to me, Stag just comes across as a real dumbass to the point where I'm like, I don't even know how he made his money because
well, it would make
this
sense
isn't
that
the only.
Harrison Wells want to get along with him.
This isn't even the only time. So like, at this point, they're like, at this point, he's like, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. He then later on, they're going to go back to him after this.
Mm-hmm.
And he still refuses the police and says, I've upgraded my security. And later on, Danton Black is going to kill a total of 2 security guards that then Simon Stagg checks on and almost gets shot. Was his upgrade one more security guard than the other one he had? Like,
yeah.
Why was there only 2? I don't understand.
It was like, yeah, it's okay. I have Star Wars stormtroopers. We'll be great.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's a weird level of confidence. I
2 people get killed, and then he comes out looking at them. It's like there should be those should have been the first 2, and there should be another 3, and then there should be another 4, and you should be there.
Right. Like I'm thinking like Arkham games when like the hotel is locked down and like you have to get through like 8 snipers just to get in.
Yeah. No, he doesn't even have that.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
But yeah, so Flash saves Joe, Eddie, and Simon. He fights Danton Black. He gets his butt kicked. He has to flee. And I want to say, I might be able to pull it up here. No, I don't know if I can. This was probably I think one of my favorite looking shots of the whole thing.
It was pretty awesome because you saw how much power he charged from like just getting up and running.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, yeah, he also like is leaning up against the fence and bloodied and stuff, and then you get like the cool camera zoom in on him. It's for people wondering, it's the picture that's on the thumbnail of the podcast and of the video. Like it is him leaning up against the thing, and the camera moves in. Like, pretty cool shot. I thought it was a really cool shot.
It's like they had like an actual like movie director doing that scene.
Yeah, I mean, and it's something that we don't see a lot of with, like it's not the typical style of the show.
It was more Arrow than it was Flash, honestly.
I would say it just didn't even feel like CW to me. I'm not really sure like how to describe it.
You almost wonder if the director was like, have you guys seen the sun today? It is beautiful. We have got to get out there.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I really enjoyed it. And then I watched it again. And actually I loved it so much I was like, yeah, I'm using this as like the thumbnail picture. Because I just thought it was a really cool looking shot. Back at Star Labs, they do find out like it is Danton Black, that he worked on cloning and now can make duplicates. And this is where Cisco says he's called Captain Clone, and he's like, I gotta.
That was such a Captain Cold thing. Like that was like
Captain Boomerang.
What if we don't use Captain Cold? Captain Clone. Oh, that's an Easter egg.
Yeah, or like I guess maybe why he would later call him Captain Cold. Like it's just like it's like in the barrel of the gun, ready to go. He's like, I got this one. Captain something is gonna happen. We're gonna name him Captain. But
I'm surprised they didn't go with Mob Rule for this, but
yeah, is that
that's what he is in the New 52.
Danton Black is called Mob Rule in it?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought that was
I don't know if it might be a different character name. Let me look this up.
Because I think he shows up in the Arrowverse Mob Rule.
Maybe I'm getting this confused.
He's in season 5. 5.
It seems like the same concept, though.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
But this is Multiplex, which is an actual DC
it is a
character
different
name.
character. Yeah, I just looked it up, and I'm like, honestly, his comic look, like in this picture, is like cooler than anything they could have done in the show. Like that looks like a bunch of Venoms coming after you.
Yeah, it's very interesting that I guess that's the difference between the thing. But
I swear I thought that was Bob Roll. My bad.
No, you're good. I mean, it's the same exact
It's
thing.
The same exact thing. To a T.
Create copies of yourself. Boom. That's what it is. Multiplex. It is the DC comic name. I don't know how I feel about it.
Multiplex sounds like a building.
I actually think I like Captain Clone better than Multiplex.
Captain Clone is better. If there wasn't a Captain Cold, Captain Clone would be the name.
Okay, so then we get the flashback where is this where No, okay. All right, so we get a flashback. Barry is going to visit his dad. He says he hates Joe. And his dad says it's not Joe that doesn't want you to come here. It's me. I don't want you to see me like this. Joe arrives, and he's kind of just standing in the corner awkwardly while they're having this heart-to-heart here. Flashback ends. Barry goes to Jitters. Eddie's being interviewed on the TV, and like Eddie and Iris are watching it. Eddie has to go back to the precinct, and Iris is like, "Are you here for coffee or to talk?" We then cut to Joe still trying to convince Stag to let him protect him. This is where we're at the police station. Wells arrives, and he's like clapping sarcastically, and Wells wants to talk to Joe. Joe asks if he knew about Barry when he was in the coma, and Wells says, "I had my suspicions." Wells says that Barry quit, and he says that Barry's enemy is doubt, and that if Joe continues to doubt him, Barry will continue to doubt himself, and that is going to make him not be effective.
Both true and self-serving.
Yes, that's my question here. For the record, he says, "I care about him too." Does he, other than just needing him to become the Flash?
He does care about him, but he doesn't care about him as a person. He cares about him as a tool to what he needs.
Right, because what we learn,
he hates
in
him
the
as
finale.
A person.
Yeah, right. In the finale,
or
around then, right, we find out that his whole reason for helping is because he needs Barry to become the Flash, so that way he will later become Reverse Flash.
Right.
And that he needs to be able to set stuff up so he can do what he needs to get back home pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're in agreement. He doesn't actually care about him except for getting what he needs.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just using this.
But he does have
to
pretend. He does have to pretend.
That's what I'm saying. He has to pretend to Joe that he cares, so that way Joe does what he needs him to do, so that way Barry is effective.
And Joe is the first one to be iffy on Wells in the first place the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Joe is iffy on Wells long before any other character gets there. If I remember this correctly.
I think you're right. By the way, I love the set of the police station. I just want to shout it out.
Oh, it's so good.
That huge like gold mural that they have is like absolutely beautiful, and it reminds me of like Gotham.
Really? Oh yeah, kind of.
Like the font kind of looks like Batman the Animated Series font, where it says like Justice and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just feels like something I could imagine in like the Gotham, police station.
My question in this scene, or when like Wells is waiting for him in like the wings of thing, is like, first off, was he just waiting there like in the shadows that whole time,
waiting the whole time?
Like, because the elevator which he obviously used, was well in front of him. So it's like, was he just sitting there in the dark, just waiting for this moment to creepily come in like Dr. Evil?
I'm kind of picturing like he signed in to like the guest book and then had to like go to the bathroom, and he's like coming back right at the right time.
Maybe.
And he's not actually clapping. He's like just trying to dry his hands.
Yeah. He can time it well, of course, because he's Reverse Flash.
Yes. So at Jitters, Barry's eating, and you know it's a reference here that he's eating a lot because she's like, "Oh, you're hungry." Yeah. He apologizes to Iris. Iris is like, my new topic is the red streak. And she shows all these, she shows all these like articles. People like, he was here at this thing and he did that thing and he saved people from the fire. And Barry, this is one thing where you're like, to your point about lying and being a bad liar. A lot of these characters will do this thing. And I think like Clark does it in Smallville and stuff, but where they try to make the person feel dumb by being like taking the route of almost like the supernatural isn't real. Now I say this,
but it doesn't work for Barry because his whole thing is
he does exactly right. Like so, there's the mistake, right? Because she's like, "Really, you believe in this kind of stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like there's nowhere to go with the lie at that point.
Well, the problem is Iris would probably naturally think he was the Flash at that point. Like,
I don't know if she would. I mean,
I feel like it would break her down a little bit.
If he was just like, "Oh, that's really cool," like he sounds like a hero, I don't think she'd be like,
"No." What I'm saying is the way he did it would like legitimately make her think she was the Flash.
Oh, the way he did do it,
yeah. You would think. Like, if you wanted her to think you were the Flash, that's the best thing you could have done.
Yeah, because it's like, you usually love this stuff, and you're not being really on board with it. So that makes me think you're hiding something.
It's suspicious. Exactly. His whole thing is, I need you to believe in the impossible.
Right. And he
the yellow man didn't kill your father, Barry. Yes, he did. Yes, he
exactly.
did.
There's that. It's the same sort of thing. It's like, oh, so you believe in a yellow man killing your mother, but you don't believe in a red streak saving people? Okay.
Yeah. And wasn't there a red streak that night too, Barry? Yes, there was.
Yeah. You know what, Iris? I should probably talk to this guy. Let me know if you run into him.
Maybe he knows what happened to my parents.
Now, this is the next part here is the cheapest part of the show. Okay. Not financially. I mean, like narratively, which is right before the commercial break. Star Labs calls Barry and they're like, "Barry?" And like, Caitlin's like, you know, Danton Black? He's here or whatever. Right. That's what it's implying. And then it's like commercial break as Barry's like, "Oh my God." And then
I'm so glad we don't have commercials on Netflix.
Come back from commercial to him rushing there and then being like, "Oh no, it's fine. This is actually just like
we made him."
Yeah, it's like, why'd you call me like that?
They're like, well, we did some like goo testing and like we made him, and then he can't respond without the receptor or the receiver or whatever the hell their whole science mumbo jumbo was. And Barry's just like, okay, why am I here?
Yeah, because I forgot all about that. Where I was like, oh my God, he is there. Okay, and then like it comes back from the commercial where it fades to black. Comes back from black, and it's just like he rushes there, and the way Caitlin delivers these lines, okay, before the commercial break, is like there's actually a problem, but then right after the commercial break, they're like, "Oh no, yeah, we did this. Like, this is why are you rushing here?" It's like, because you call me. That'd be like if I was like downstairs in my house and like I turned off the TV. And then I called my wife, like, get over here. The TV won't turn on. And then she runs in and she's like, well, it's off. It's like, yeah, I turned it off. What? Why'd you rush me in here?
That's funny as heck.
Why am I here?
That is the cheapest part of the show. Yeah, you nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah, it didn't ring true at all it was like they needed tension for the break, and this is what happens when you have like commercial break.
But like I didn't notice it to the level that you just like spelled it out. But yeah, it's bad.
And I think it's because I was taking notes where I'm like, Danton Black is there, and then it's like, oh no, they made him.
Yeah.
Here's my notes exactly. It's like Danton Black is there.
Yeah.
Barry arrives. It's just a replicant. They had cloned him.
Yeah, you're taking notes. I'm eating fries.
But the clones are, like you said, an empty shell without like the real Danton Black there, who acts as like the, they say like receiver and stuff. Black has limits just like Barry, they say. So look for the one that has fatigue, and you'll be able to find out which one is the real one.
Which the thing I hate about that is just find the one in the back.
Yeah. I mean, it's the one that's not doing anything.
It's the one in the back that looks tired. Like it's like, come on, he should have been like in the middle or something.
Cisco has like created these high energy protein bars to help him like be able to sustain his energy. The replicant starts moving, and Joe walks in and just shoots the thing. And then tells Barry like, go stop him. Right, like he gets his blessing. We're back at Stag Industries. Danton Black arrives. Stag hears shots and leaves his office to go check on the guards. His increased security. Okay. Why on earth is he leaving his office to check on this? This is the dumbest thing in the book here. Like,
it's like he's a girl in a horror movie and he opens the door.
Or when they're like, let's split up, right?
Yeah.
But Flash saves Stag right at the last minute. Like, this guy is about to shoot him with like 6 different guns, and Barry jumps in and saves him. And we learn Danton Black's backstory here. His wife had a disease, and he was trying to grow his wife a new heart. Stag stole the tech and got the award that they were celebrating at the beginning of the episode. And this is when Black like copies himself to like 50 or more people, and they start like it's like hundreds of people.
Now, I know they couldn't afford the song probably, but how did they not use Painted Black in this episode? It would
probably
black. He replicates himself and he wears all black. It's
probably financial stuff.
It would have literally made more sense to make Painted Black in here than it did in the Black Adam movie. I'm just saying.
Okay. Caitlin then reiterates, like, look for the Prime, and they motivate him and get him going because they're like, yeah, you can do it, Barry. And he finds the one that is sweating and takes him out. But he gets back up again and he attacks. And Barry moves out of the way because he's fast, and he goes out the window. But Barry saves him. And then for some reason, he grows another arm and just pries Barry's arm off and falls to his death.
I feel like they were trying to have a Hans Gruber moment, but it really didn't work.
I think it was just like maybe. I guess his motivation for that is like he's already screwed up so much he's going to jail. He lost his wife. He's just letting it happen.
Yeah. I feel like Cisco would enjoy the Hans Gruber reference.
Yeah. I mean, he loves that stuff. Maybe I should do some sort of
Cisco reference.
Pop culture reference. That'd be all day.
It'd be a hard thing to track because you would it just never stopped. But what would be interesting is every time they mention a Marvel character, because they do that a good bit throughout the series.
We get Danton Black is dead, and Wells has this great line, I think. Some people, when they break, can't be put back together again. Maybe referencing himself. Cisco then coins the name Multiplex, and we get our first ever. I was originally calling this name game. I found a better name for it. It's called Coined by Cisco, and it is better. Thank you. And it is Multiplex, our first ever coined by Cisco. And we get our first ever "We Are the Flash" moment. I don't know if I should track this, but him saying, "I may be the one in the suit doing the running, but you are all out there with me. We were all struck by that lightning." This one doesn't get as much hate as "We Are the Flash" for some reason, but it's the same exact thought.
Look, "We Are the Flash" is just incredibly annoying. I feel like it was the delivery of "We Are the Flash" that did more than anything.
Maybe. We get at the police lab. Joe arrives with the pizza. He's like, "We can help your dad. We're gonna figure out who or what killed your mom, and we're gonna get your father out of prison." And it's this touching moment here where Barry says about all the things Joe did for him, that he is like his father.
worth of pizza right now.
Yeah, maybe. Depends where you're going. Little Caesars. Little Caesars, you're still in good shape.
That was not a Little Caesars pizza.
No,
there was a lot of toppings on that pizza, and it was like got to be like an 18-inch pizza. That's like 2025. That's like $80 a pizza. Like, can you imagine the expense of Barry's dietary needs? Like, he needs a better job.
Yeah, we'll kind of get into his financial situation because season 2 kind of really changes all of that, I guess, but it still leaves some questions.
Yeah. Well, season 2 dramatically changes it, but
yeah, I mean, because he's left S.T.A.R Labs and all that, so that's kind of the question mark I have is like, do they make any money at S.T.A.R Labs?
Well, I feel like he has more assets than he has money.
Right.
But he has an incredible apartment later, so you know.
But we get a great touching moment where he's like, "You are like my dad. You've taught me how to drive. You've taught me how to do this, right? You were there for me at this moment and stuff." Yeah, and we kind of end. Yeah, go ahead.
This is where he stops being whiny Anakin Skywalker and becomes Luke. You know, it's like the well-adjusted one. You know.
Yeah. We
needed this for his likability.
We get the ending monologue, and Barry is Caitlin's helping him now too. Like, hey, there's this thing, go help somebody type thing. So we kind of got them that this is, I would say, kind of almost like a second part of the pilot where now we are kind of at the point where everybody's kind of on board with this and that he's actually going to be the Flash going forward. But we get the title card, we get the post-title tag that the Flash does, which is the best part of this episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. By far.
Wells shows up to Stag's office, and Stag's like, "What are you doing here?" And Stag is talking about getting the Flash. He's like, "If we can get the Flash, we can do this, we can do that." And he calls him the Man in the Red Mask, which is a great name, I think, because of the man in the yellow suit, right? Like, it's a good parallel. And Wells is kind of like, Man in the Red Mask. He's called the Flash, or he will be one day. And he stands up and stabs Stag. Say that 5 times fast. And he says, he says, the fastest man alive must be kept safe. I'm hooked on these. I love these. I love the tag scenes in season 1.
Yeah,
I think they're
good.
Always made me want to push the next play button.
Look, Harrison Wells, Thawne, that is the driving force of this show so far. And it's you guys said it last week. It's true this week. He's the man. He propels the plot. What can I say? He generates the Speed Force.
We get I watched this on the Blu-ray. There's a deleted scene. It is like the shortest deleted scene I've ever seen in my life. Joe is talking about a 6-man crew. Captain comes up to talk to Joe, and he's like, "What about the forensics?" He's like, "That's my next stop." Boom. That was it. That was the deleted scene.
Well, that's why
it was like 3 lines. It was like the fastest. I was like, I guess that's it. All right. I see why they cut it. It was not needed at all.
It's like someone had too much time in the script.
I'm assuming this is like when if we're talking about forensics, I'm almost thinking this is when we had Joe investigating. Like we go to a scene where the security guard is killed, and then immediately after that, Joe has the DNA from it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is between that.
Yeah.
Because it seemed really quick. That's the only thing I can think of. But
interesting.
All right, let's head over to our Rogues Spotlight, which I'm doing for the Flash episodes here. I don't know if I'll do it for the crossovers or other stuff, but we'll see. Multiplex is the main villain of this episode. And in the comics, he started working with, drumroll, Martin Stein, who we will meet later this season. And he first appeared in Firestorm #1 in 1978, created by Jerry Conway and Al Milgrom. So I thought that was a cool little connection.
That's a cool connection for a lamer version of Opera.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. But not too much on him. Multiplex is not a very used villain in the canon. So not much there. Ratings
for the second episode.
So we're going to go to our ratings here. I got to write down our names here and put what we're putting. But before we do that, the TV ratings. Second episode of The Flash was watched by 4.27 million viewers. I could not find the 18 to 49 demographic rating. I went and tried to search for it for so long, could not locate it. Over on IMDb, this has an 8.1 out of 10 rating. So I ask you, Chris, on the scale of Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, and speed of light, and 5 being enter flash time, what do you rank this episode? What do you rate it?
This is a good Mach 3, I think. It's not a, we talked about it in the beginning of this episode. It's not one you're going to remember for the rest of your life, specifically for
no, I forgot a lot
think
of
about
it.
This show. Yeah, we've watched
the only thing I remembered was the tag scene.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing you need to remember. Maybe the taco line. I don't know. Mach 3. I don't think it was bad, but it wasn't like it wasn't anything above Mach 3.
So this is the first one I'm not rating enter flash time. I have it as Mach 3 as well.
Okay, cool. I always take on first because if I'm way off of you, it sounds like I'm mean.
No, it's fine. So the average obviously would be 3 out of 5 because we both ranked it a 3. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's fair.
My biggest
I was surprised
with an undefined show so far.
Yeah,
that's not a fair criticism.
It's a little bit of a dip from the pilot, which is a fantastic episode. I was actually kind of surprised it was 8.1 on IMDb because the pilot was at 8.3. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah, I feel like this is
higher. This pilot was perfect. Are you
kidding
me? Like that. And by the way, you said when you guys were talking about how they did the police, the police detective vision with Barry of the bath.
They never do it again.
I was just I would die for them to keep doing that. I love
it. Was cool, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I love about the show is when Barry's smart, because goddamn do they make him stupid sometimes.
Yeah. Though, I'll say one of my other favorite parts of season 1 and what I think, and it's probably because I'm a big Smallville fan, is this idea of the people getting their powers by doing the thing that they were doing pretty much at the time is very Smallville, where it's oh, he collects bugs and he was touching kryptonite, so he became a bug boy. It's very similar to that with
freaks,
the Multiplex was a master of cloning, and he's cloning, I guess, during the thing, and it made it go haywire, and he is now able to clone himself. Weather Wizard, was going into the plane in the middle of the storm. While they're in a storm, it gets struck by lightning, so he is able to control weather or whatever. they do very similar to Smallville, and I think that's why I like the Flash so much, is because it reminds me of that with like these metahumans getting powers the same way the kryptonite freaks do.
It feels more like a superhero show than Arrow. Arrow is trying to be a soap opera and an action drama.
Arrow was a hero show, not a superhero show. That's the thing, because they didn't even have any metahumans until Barry appeared.
Right. So, like, but the Freak of the Week kind of thing is, I think, an important formula for the beginning of a superhero show. And, like, it doesn't work if you don't have that, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go over to our tally board where we have a +2 for New 52, because guess what? Not only is it Barry running 352 miles an hour, apparently in the fire scene, Ladder 52 is what the fire department is. They're from Ladder 52. So,
all right,
there you go. Coined by Cisco, we get a +1 for Multiplex. Okay. We get 2 Barry Lates. We get a particle accelerator metahuman +1 because of the villain being Multiplex. And last episode, I forgot to include our first Wells, the introduction of Wells variants, because Harrison Wells was introduced last week. So I forgot to put that in there. Do you want to know what this episode is most... I don't want to say most known for, because it's not. This is a fun trivia question I'm going to ask you, Chris.
Okay.
If I had to ask you what is so special about this episode in the whole Arrowverse, do you know what that would be?
Can I have a second?
Yeah.
That one's hard. I feel like what you say is going to be like so obvious.
It makes sense, but it's not obvious, I would say.
Yeah. Just tell me.
This is the first Arrowverse episode where Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen does not appear.
Oh, who cares? But yeah, it's true.
It's noteworthy. It is noteworthy here.
Yeah, but it's the Flash. It's not like I expected him to.
But he appeared last episode. Yeah.
But no one thought he was going to appear every episode of Flash.
No, but I mean, like, this is the first one where he doesn't appear in the whole show. It's called the Arrowverse. He does not appear in this episode.
All right.
The first one ever that he does not appear. So, all right. I guess anything else before we wrap up? That's everything I have on my end about this episode.
No, I mean, I think we covered it. Pretty good show. Love me some Flash, and I really like early Barry was fun.
Yeah.
So, all about it.
Yeah, so just, I guess, to wrap it up here, we have on the tally board total so far 4 Barry Lates, 3 rebirths, 2 Run Barry runs, 5 people know his secret, 3 New 52 references, 1 crisis count, 2 metahumans, 1 time he said not fast enough so far, 1 time we've been introduced to a new Wells, and 1 coined by Cisco. So that is our total count. Yes. So we'll keep totals on that as we go. But yeah, so okay. That means next episode here is episode 3 of season 1, which is called hell if I know. Let me look it up. I don't remember what this episode's called. It is called Things You Can't Outrun. So
that's the one with Metamorpho. That's the one with Anthony Kerrigan.
Which is funny because that's the episode after Simon Stagg. How about that?
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. There's a trivia tidbit for you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So Things You Can't Outrun is the next episode. So that is
Justice Gang. That's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, we are. I'll see if we're going to be releasing an episode soon. This is the week before Thanksgiving, so we might take a little holiday break and then kind of come back with more episodes. But so just keeping your eyes on that. Just stay subscribed enter Flash Time, and you'll be able to follow us and get alerted when new episodes drop. Because over on Twitter, we're at enter_Flash Time. Email enterflashpod@gmail.com. Or you can go to facebook.com/enterflashtime and people can find us there. I know Zach Moore shared the episode over on his Facebook page when he was on, so that was great. And I actually had another Flash podcast reached out to me. Nice. We're going to try to collaborate at some point, but they're doing a rewatch. They're in season 2. So yeah, we're going to try to collab, but sweet. So that's out there. Okay, what else we have going on here? So if you're not familiar with this, Chris is on Supes and Sabers with me. That is another podcast we have. We have stuff coming up on there. I just earlier this month released an episode of a Marvel Comics cover draft with TJ and Damon from Comic Corner on Agents of Fandom. So if people want to check that out over on Supes and Sabers, you can find that. We're currently working on scheduling a DC Comics cover draft, which should be a lot of fun.
I've got like 15 like coming to my mind right away. So it's
and then I just, I can never have too many podcasts. I just launched as a series on Supes and Sabers. It also has its own feed as well, but we've launched Bond Pod. So I've only
I'm gonna get on that.
You're going to have to get on it. Yeah. I've only seen the Daniel Craig movies up until last weekend.
That's hard to believe.
Even then, I only saw them 4 years ago. So, like, it was a long time. It was something missing. But I have decided, I was watching Dr. No. And, man, Threads was going off. People were really loving that I was watching it.
Yeah, and it's a great movie.
I decided you only get to watch these once for the first time. So I thought I would share my experiences of my first watch through all of these classic Bond movies. And we're doing that on Bond Pod. So I will be recording my Dr. No reaction soon and kind of my thoughts on that.
Like, I grew up with Pierce Brosnan as Bond. Like, I remember going to Toys R Us and getting the video game for N64.
GoldenEye?
My dad. Yeah, dude.
My friend had that. That's like one of my only experiences.
First off, the best. It is like the best like music of video games ever had. It's not close. Dude, it was just like I feel like me and my brother spent years of our life playing that game. Like we just could not stop playing that game. It was one of the last shooting games I actually liked because then they got too chaotic and I didn't actually enjoy them. But yeah, like it's like when you get into the Halos and stuff with the Xbox, you're like, hey, there's too much going on. My ADHD can't handle this. But like GoldenEye was such a damn good game, dude. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you didn't watch like the Pierce Brosnan Bonds because we're similar age, so it's like
my parents weren't really into Bond, so I never really wasn't really around in my household, so I never really checked it out. But checking it out now, and we'll share my thoughts on all those classic Bond movies as we go, as we build up to Bond 26.
I can't wait, dude. My dad and I did a Bond marathon.
Denny Villeneuve.
We did a Bond marathon where we watched 2 of every actor that played Bond.
Nice.
One for Lazenby, of course.
Right. You can't control that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my experience. We'll be doing that, and then I currently up on there and released on there is my my talk with Casey, who had also grew up never watching Bond, and I introduced him to Casino Royale last year. So
so good.
We recorded an episode about Casino Royale for films for the very first time. I repurposed that episode for Bond Pod, so that's up there as well for people to listen. And Quantum of Solace discussion is that. And right after we're done this, and I put the baby to sleep, I have to watch Skyfall because I'm recording an episode about that tomorrow. So,
dude, Skyfall is one of my favorites. I love it.
So, I have a busy night, so I'm about to go watch Skyfall. But if people are interested in the Bond stuff, it's over there on Supes and Sabers. It's also on its own feed called Bond Pod if you look it up. But we'll be building up to that, and of course the new video game coming out next year. That should be fun. All right, Chris, anywhere people can follow you? You want to shout anything out?
Yeah, I'm at Multiversal Omni for this kind of stuff on the app formerly known as Twitter. You can follow me at FootballMan58 on Twitter as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, but like I really don't do much social media now. So fun stuff.
Yeah, well, all right. Thank you all for watching or listening along. We'll catch you next time when we talk things you can't outrun. Catch you next time.